Al, when you're frustrated, do you like to take a table and turn it around or flip it?
I mean, I wish that I could. I don't think that I have the physical strength to do so.
Well, I guess it depends on the table.
It does depend on the table. I definitely have the table flip emoji
You
um
do.
on my phone, ready to go. It's even like a shortcut on my phone.
It's a good shortcut to have.
There are very few that I have. That's one of them.
Well, that's what we're going to do today here on episode number 16 of Jared and Al Watch Shirobako. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
And we're here to talk to you about episode number 16. It's called Table Flip or Turning the Tables, whichever one you decide.
Which are very different in their
They
meaning,
are.
but whatever.
One of them is flipping a table. The other one you could read some romantic poetry to.
God. Ah!
We always got to tie it back into romanticism.
It's true. That's just who we are as people.
It really is. Last episode, we got the big cliffhanger where Watanabe came back and was like, hey, we got to stop production on everything. And then it's like, ah! So today we get the reason for why that's happened. Aoi has got everyone together and be like, hey, we got to stop production. Everyone's like, what? The author of the source material that they're doing emailed them and was like, hey, I'm not happy with these character designs. Fix them.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring Yumi in. They're like, hey, this is what happened, and we got to fix them. And basically they're like, well, okay, let's try and figure out what we got to do to fix them. And they do this a couple of times, and basically each time it's just like the author giving them back more for you, like, nope, don't like this. Nope, don't like that. And then like the last one, he's like, these aren't even good. Is the character designer even trying anymore?
Oof. It's rough.
Which it's rough, and also like the author's just giving them like 3 sentences, and that's all the feedback he's giving.
Yeah, and he's not giving like specifics on what he doesn't like. It's just like, I don't like this. Are you doing anything like blah blah blah? And it's like, that's not
like the first email he gives him was like, these aren't cute enough.
right.
And it's like, okay, well, what part of it isn't cute? What part don't you like? Is there anything that you do like? And he's like, and there's like nothing in there about that. So basically, the director, Watanabe, Aoi, and everyone's kind of like, they were just giving Yumi these feedbacks and just be like, figure it out, I guess. I don't know.
Yay.
So they are basically stuck in pause because they can't really do anything, even though they've been working on these episodes already. Anything involving character design or with anything to do with the characters is you can't work on. It's hands off. But that does lead to other things that can be worked on. So, like, the jets that are being done in CG and everything, background images, photography, stuff like that. Those all can still, continue to work, which is a good thing because obviously you don't want everything to stop because of that. But it doesn't really help when you're doing, like, maybe like a third of the production is in production. They try to figure out if they can get an actual meeting with the author, but it seems like that is just not going to happen for reasons unbeknownst to them.
Funny story.
It's a funny story. His editor basically just keeps shutting him down at any possible mention of it. He's like, oh, he can't do it. He's got a deadline. Well, he's doing this. He's doing that. So they are just hitting a brick wall each time. Yumi goes off to her spot in the park where she gets to hang out with the kitty, and now he goes to talk to her, try and like help her out, get her some form of confidence back, or just try and help her whatever she can.
Moral support.
And she gets the kitty, pet the kitty.
Yeah.
All the while, Aoi and the director kind of go off to like the other parts of the production that are still working, and like give them feedback and like talk to them about like what they want to do and everything. The director keeps calling every single person the star of the production. Now he's like, you keep calling them that. You can't keep calling everyone the star. And he's like, but they're all the stars. It's not my fault that I think that. One of the key things, you are a star.
Yay.
You're a star of this production.
Yay, you are too.
That's debatable. One of the key things the director keeps like talking to people about, he's like, he wants to, like, they're talking about like, do we want this to be very realistic, or do we want to kind of skirt that line? He's like, I want it to be, have to let you feel emotions when you're seeing these scenes while also still being kind of realistic. But if we have to prioritize one or the other, let's prioritize, making people feel emotions over just being like hyper realistic for the sake of being hyper realistic. So like he talks about like the planes banking during a scene, and the CG dude is like, well, we could do that, but it's not very realistic. And the director's like, whatever. It doesn't matter. And then there's like a scene like about clouds. He's like, oh, I want to do this scene where like they're flying down through these clouds, and the art directors,
the cloud man,
I guess you could say, is just like, that wouldn't happen. Those clouds aren't there at that altitude. He's like, whatever, we'll fudge it.
I do what I want.
Yeah. Yumi keeps struggling with her character designs because she just isn't getting feedback from the director or from the author or anything, and is just hitting a brick wall. She doesn't know what to fix or what exactly is wrong, essentially. And it's just like, she's just stumped. Rinko, the Gothic Lolita girl, goes and has a meeting with the director Aoi and Watanabe, and it's like, you guys are not helping her in the slightest. You are just telling her, hey, this is what the author is saying, and then go do it. You're not giving her any feedback. You're not like making this a collaborative effort to help her one way or the other. This is what your job should be. Why aren't you doing your job? Basically, like hammers it down. She then takes Yumi, Aoi, and Emma out to her basically her spot that she goes to unwind, and that's essentially some batting cages.
Some batting cages, which I was impressed because she is crazy good.
I was also impressed because like they show that like the other three girls bat normally, which I guess normally is right-handed, and she's a lefty.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Which
is a detail you may not normally like put into something like this, but like it kind of like it's a different little quirk, which I thought was very interesting. So she bats left-handed, she pitches left-handed, so that was a cool little thing.
Definitely didn't notice that, but I also just don't pay sports. So
it would be a thing if you knew baseball and how people bat. So
sports ball.
If you don't know that, you're not gonna pick that up.
Nope.
So like they're all like struggling to hit the ball in the batting cages, and she's just like hitting them all out of the park. There's this like little pitching mini game where it's like you have to hit this like basically it's a strike zone, and it's divided up into 9 squares. So you have to like hit all the 9 squares, I guess, to win. And everyone's just like throwing and messing up, missing the target, and she's just like do 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 do.
Gets every
It's like
single
all
one.
of them. Yeah. They're like, did you play softball or something? And she's like, no. I was in the Go Club. She takes them out to like a family restaurant afterwards and basically like tells them like her story of like how she kind of came to be how she is today, where like she was on a production and she had her first time being a character designer, and she's basically kind of going through the same stuff that Yumi is going through currently, where it's like hitting that brick wall, having to do retake over retake over retake, and then just like at the end of it you're just like completely stressed out, you're just done, you don't know what to do, what's different, where's your creative outlet anymore, like all that is just gone. And she basically like talks about how like, oh, I was very resilient as a youth, so I thought I could take all this, but this job basically broke me down in a way that I was not expecting. So instead of just letting that happen to me, I kind of changed my whole outlook. I changed my look entirely, and that's why I wear like all these dresses and stuff, because I'm putting on my armor to go to work.
Yep.
And I really like how like that's the way she describes it, as like this is how I have to prepare myself and get myself in this mindset to do all this stuff. And like if there's stuff that's going to hit me, like I'll just like I have my protective outlet on me, and if bad things are going to happen, like I know how to navigate them now in a way. And also just like it's a good scene of being like showing the problems with people that are creative people in general, like with artists, with writers, with any sort of creative outlet, where if you hit that brick wall, that slump, like how do you navigate it, how do you get through that? And sometimes with artists in general, like that can be very tricky. Like some people will basically tear you down in ways that is not going to be beneficial to you, like let's do it for the sake of doing it. But here it's basically Rinko being like, you have to sometimes tear yourself down essentially in order to rebuild yourself back up, to find your own creative outlet, how to get back into that mindset essentially. I guess TLDR, it's girls helping girls, and that's real good.
Heck yeah, it is. And also there's really funny part because they're asking her at one point, like, you know, did you always wear this? And she's like, no, I used to wear like t-shirt and jeans. And it said like, oh, you know, I bet the stats are better on this than a t-shirt. It's really good. But it does make me think, I was like, man, I wish that I had armor like that. Like, I wish that I had some kind of outfit that I was like, this protects me and I can get through things. But I don't have that.
There's nothing stopping you from finding that.
I mean,
which is, I think that's a key thing to take away from this. Like, anyone can create this kind of persona for themselves.
Yeah.
They can have that kind of armor, that way to help them get through and to navigate the rough waters of creativity in different ways.
Lord knows I need it.
So maybe like you're not going to find it just out of the blue, but someday you will find your own set of armor that you'll be able to put on.
My own, not gothic Lolita outfit, but something similar.
Yeah. It's a very optimistic look at an industry that can be very pessimistic.
It is, and it's also really, you know, we've seen it be a very brutal industry because like everything's always just like crunch, 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 and you know it can break you. And so she's found her own way to like have some form of like positivity and protection, and something that could easily break her down.
Totally, and especially in an industry that has so much turnover in it and is competitive in a way to like. Ringo did not have to go out of her way to do this. She could have easily let her just sit there and follow, then scooped in and taken the reins back. But she didn't. She sat there and she's like, I need to help this person. I need to help her get to where she needs to go because I nominated her for this job. I want to see her succeed. And, you know, in some businesses, people aren't going to be like that. They will just chew you up and spit you out. And if it's a way to benefit themselves and to get into a higher position by stomping you out, they will totally do it in a ruthless fashion. But here it's like it's the exact opposite of that.
Which is great.
So that's pretty good, yeah.
Girls and girls.
It's pretty good. So following that, they go back the next day, and Yumi has her own set of armor on. She has basically come up with her new character designs, and they submit him to Watanabe and the director, and they're like, yeah, this is good. We need to get the author's approval like right now. So they call up the editor, and he's like, oh, I'm busy. Can't do it. Doing stuff. And they're like, oh, we know where he is. And then they just go off and drift through like the highways of Japan, and then find him at this golf range. And he's like, oh, how did you find me? And they're like, you are going to call the author and get approval on this right now.
We're a month behind.
And he's like, ah.
Which, considering how much like Watanabe messes around doing things, like I'm not surprised that he knew exactly where it was. Like, how many times have we seen him like in a parlor playing mahjong?
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like if you are that kind of, because he's a high-up producer, he's going to be very connected to a lot of people. Like you're going to be doing those kinds of activities with those kinds of people, so it helps. It's a good thing in this way that he's very connected in that sort of fashion, to where he can just be like, oh, I know where a golf range is, or you can just do some driving range. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
I know where one of those are. It's right next to where his work is. I bet he's exactly he's there. He's 100% there. So.
And he was right.
It's the benefit of that. But they get the approval, and then they are ready to resume production. Yay!
Yay!
And that's going to do it for that episode. Which, by the way, we will be resuming table flipping in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes.
Which I can understand. I would want to flip a table if someone was just like, no, but they're not giving you any reason why.
Yeah. There will be, obviously, because it's literally titled Table Flip Continued, there will be a throw line with that episode. So I think you'll probably have an idea of why they're going to be kind of revisiting that title. So, and it's going to be a culmination of some frustrations that Musashi no will have been having at that point. But this is now, and that is it for episode number 16. So if you'd like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup and Season Language Checkup OVA. And you can find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. Next time, we will be discussing episode number 17. It's called Where Am I? Or I think like the other episode or the other title is Can You Tell Me Where I Am?
Yes.
So we will figure out exactly where we are, hopefully.